started working in a factory probably, I've been working for 18 years, I'm trying to think, 95. But was never a real big reader of fiction, I should say. When I was growing up, I read a lot of nonfiction books on serial murderers, like Ed Gein, imagine that, Gary Heidnik, whole list of really sick, twisted people. Why my mom let me read that shit, I have no idea. But it was always interesting to me that how you had these flawed working class type people, and they did these horrible things. And I just kind of wanted to know why people did what they did, I guess is why I read them. They were always interesting until you get to the last quarter of the book, because then they've gotten caught and they're going to jail and you got to go through the court stuff, and I usually didn't finish them by then. The other thing is I read a lot of comic books, but working in a factory, I worked 12-hour shifts, so I'd have work 3 days on, get 4 days off. You work 4 days on and get 3 days off. I worked a night shift and had a lot of downtime once I figured my job and all that stuff out. And I started reading after my wife now went and took in a movie called Fight Club. Imagine that. And in the credits it said, based on a novel by Chuck Palahniuk. And watched the movie and damn, it had a pretty big effect on me. So I ended up searching out all the books that he had written. Of course, I couldn't find Fight Club because the movie was out and I never bought the damn thing up. So I bought Invisible Monsters and Survivor and the backward of the other book. But it's probably the first time I picked up a fiction book up and just sat down and read it in one sitting. But what got me was the things he would write about dealt a lot with society and problems, and he had this really fucked up way of explaining it but making it interesting. He had a really different language from what everybody else, that I picked up in the past maybe and just couldn't find interest in it. It wasn't boring. He didn't go through 50 pages of scene setting and things that really didn't matter to me. I couldn't identify with it, but with him I could, and it made me start to look at other authors that were similar to him, like Irvin Welsh, even A.M. Holmes, just a list of great writers, Dennis Johnson. And eventually, I came across Larry Brown. And when I picked up Larry Brown, I really identified with him because the things he was writing about was a lot of things I grew up around in southern Indiana, but he lived in Mississippi. So I thought, how the fuck did this guy do that? So it took me a long time to figure out how to pull from where I was from. But also, by discovering Larry Brown, I discovered guys like Tom Franklin's Poachers, which was just totally devastating. I mean, the novella itself is probably one of my favorites ever. And of course, guys like William Gay, Daniel Woodrell, and Cormac McCarthy came through a lot later, because this was in 2000. I didn't start reading Woodrell or McCarthy probably until 2008 or 2009. But even then, I mean, they had an impact on me too. But Chuck Palahniuk basically was the thing that made me pick up other books and start reading. And I had a really big, I don't know how you put it, language. I like language. I like to twist it and use it in different ways. I like to be descriptive and show things rather than just tell things. I really spent a lot of time doing that. And of course, it took between 99 and 2000. I probably wrote hundreds and hundreds of notebooks freehand, just filling story ideas up and scenes and plots and shit that really didn't make any sense. It took a long time to formulate, put things together. Somewhere around 2008 is when I really started to pull from my gene pool, in a sense, the stories I grew up around. Because my grandfather, my grandmother, my dad, my mom, uncles, they were all really great storytellers, but by this time, half of them were dead, and I didn't keep a notebook to keep track of it, so I had to kind of just dig through the memories that I had, And the big problem I had was a lot of times when I would tell a story or write a story, once I understood structure and stuff, I would write it out, and I would write it out exactly as it happened. Well, nobody really cared. I mean, Raymond Carver used to do that. People liked his stuff. It took me a while to realize that people have already heard that. You need to lie a little bit more. You need to make it a little more interesting. You need to write what you like, not what you think somebody's going to like. And until I did that, nothing. I'd get letters like, the writing's good, but we've heard this before. in a sense, I kind of let a match under my ass, and I really got pissed off and started thinking about the things that I like, which are a lot of what my father likes. I like the old Clint Eastwood movies. They had a really big impact on me as a kid, was that old tough guy image. And even thinking of my father as a war vet, and my grandfather being an avid hunter and providing for his family, that whole masculine machoism kind of played a big part of it. Because you don't really see a lot of men like that anymore. They've all kind of changed in a sense. But that's where a lot of that came from.